Morris, thank you. Morris, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you for your beautiful words. I don't think I have ever felt more proud to be a Canadian citizen, to be a member of our Jewish community than I have tonight, listening to all of you express your sentiments about our country in Canada and Israel and the incredible bond that exists between them. I'm sitting here really to offer all of you, my family, my extended family in Toronto, and the broader community at large who have reached out to us with an outstretched arm of friendship and support. I offer you a warm embrace, although it's very chilly up here on the rooftop of the Intercontinental Hotel in Tel Aviv, where I'm surrounded by many supporters and friends, some whom you will recognize in a moment, because they have flown here from our community of Toronto to express their profound solidarity with the people of Israel. They deserve to introduce themselves and have their moment on the screen. So please.
Arnie Aberman.
Renan Harari.
Dov Began.
Howard Katz.
Jeff Springer.
Len Pearl.
Henry Koshitsky.
Thank you very much. And on my left, we are joined by Johanna Yoki Arbib, a great friend of the Jewish people, someone who's no stranger to Toronto, for she has visited our community in her role as chairman of the United Israel Appeal, Karen Hayesod campaigns worldwide. We're so honored, Yoki, that you've flown here today from Rome to address us, but more importantly, to be with us. We love you for doing this, and we are truly honored that you are here. And on my right, we have with us Lieutenant Colonel Avital Leibovich, who heads the foreign press desk of the Israel Defense Forces, and in that capacity is also very involved in the social networking. So if you receive a Twitter from her, and if you feel that the news is more balanced, thank our Lieutenant Colonel. And on my left, we are very, very touched that we have a family here with us from Kibbutz Kfar Gaza. They are Amir and Orit, their 4 beautiful children, Gali, Meital, Lior, and Liram Sadikovich. And we thank you for being with us, because you live in the heart of the trauma, and we appreciate your presence with us. I think that all of us are experiencing, all of us tonight, whether we are in one of the 4 locations in Toronto, 5,000 strong, or whether we are participating in solidarity rallies across Canada. And I'm proud to say that every community from Halifax to Vancouver will be offering some expression of their support during the coming week. Wherever we are experiencing a very eerie sense of deja vu. We have been here too many times for so many solidarities, rallies in the past. The only difference for me is I am here and not there with you, as I usually am, sitting beside you in our collective yearning and desire to come together in a spirit of oneness. Even though we may be thousands of miles apart tonight, I want you to know that your participation and your expression is a way of enlisting in Israel's struggle for survival. And all of you have been with us from the very beginning. From the War of Independence, to the Suez Canal War, to the Six-Day War, the Yom Kippur, the Lebanon War, the Gulf War, the 2 intifadas, and the recent Lebanon and Gaza wars. You were always with us with an outpouring of solidarity and support. And you should know your presence and your support does not go unnoticed. And when we think of all the wars and the war that we are now facing, it really brings to mind Daniel Gordis's comment when he said, and I quote, "It feels like it never ends, for at the end, all the wars are the same, and we cannot afford to lose. So that is why every Shabbat in Israel and around the world, in every congregation, we recite a special prayer that Hashem should guard our precious soldiers from every stress and trouble along the way, from every ambush, and send blessings and success in all that they do." And as the Consul General mentioned earlier on, J.J. Schneeweiss, it is the IDF that gives us our strength and our dignity and our pride every day of the week, every week of the year, and every year of our lifetime. We can also draw strength, as has been said so many times this evening, from the community here in Israel. And even though I've only been here 15 hours, I feel a greater sense of calm than I have felt over the last 5 days, because I'm strengthened and inspired by the resilience and courage of each and every Israeli citizen, for they have the capacity to live under pressure and under constant stress and still continue to do all the things that must be done, like my children and grandchildren in Renana, who tell me they think about the 60 seconds they have after hearing a siren to find cover, and that my 6-year-old grandson can tell me the most direct and quickest way to find safety. This is what life here in Israel is all about. And we can draw strength from each other, because there is a direct connection between what we do in all our communities around the world, how much we do, how visible we are, and how much Israel can endure. The call from Israel is being heard across every country in the world, and there is nobody better to speak to us about the communities around the world than our own Johanna Arbib from Rome.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you for those wonderful words. As usual, you're an inspiration. Thank you for being by my side for the last 20 years as my mentor. And thank you for continuing to be with me and give me that inspiration to be the Jewish leader that I've become in the last 20 years. My friends for Canada, it's an honor for me to be with you, to participate in this wonderful rally of Jews from Greater Toronto to show your solidarity to Israel. Israel, our nation, Israel, our home away from home, the country that no one will take away from us in no uncertain terms. This is a statement that we all go by with and that we all believe in. Israel is the country of miracles. And I'm proud to report of the solidarity of Jews from all over the world, from over our 55 campaigns, Karen Isot campaigns from all over the world, who have responded to the call to action, stepping up, being here with Israel, with the citizens of the South and the citizens of the Center in times of need. Our support has been in the urgent needs in mainly 4 areas. We have responded to the call that Israel has played on us. We are building bomb shelters, renovating over 300 bomb shelters in the south and in the north of Israel. We have already, I'm proud to say, that we have already raised over $1.5 million, including money from Canada, to renovate these bomb shelters, and we have a few more $1 million to go. We are beefing up our fund for victims of terror, giving immediate need to those families that have been hurt by terror attacks. And here, right on my left, we have one of those families. We are giving respite to children and teenagers who live under constant terror attack, taking them out of the shelters for 24 hours of fun and rest, just away of the terror that has been hitting Israel for, should I say, the last hours, the last days, the last weeks, but more correctly, I should say the last 12 years. As Julie just stated, I just flew from Rome only a couple of hours ago on my way to Israel. And let me tell you that I share Julie's feeling today. There's no other place in the world that I want to be now more than here in Israel to show our solidarity to the people of Israel in times of need. We are one united Jewish people, and you, the Jews of Toronto, and the friends of the Jews of Toronto are showing your solidarity to the people of Israel in times of need. Because, my dear friends, Kol Arevim Ze Lazeh, Am Israel High, we are one united Jewish family, and this is what makes us unique. And thank you for the great support that the Greater Federation of UJA Toronto is demonstrating in time of need to the people of Israel. Kol HaKavod to you, and God bless you.
It is now my honor to hand the microphone over to our Lieutenant Colonel Avital Leibovich.
Thank you, Julie, and good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to speak to you this evening or very early morning here in Israel. Today was a relatively quiet day in Israel. You ask, what's a quiet day like? Only 116 rockets. We have launched Operation Pilar of Defence 6 days ago. The goal of the operation was very clear to us. First and foremost, to defend 3.5 million people, half of the population of this country, that are currently under heavy rocket fire. The second goal was to cripple the various terror organizations inside the Gaza Strip, led by Hamas, from their arsenals of weapons and rockets of various ranges. In the first 24 hours, we damaged their arsenal of Fajr 5s. Fajr 5 is an Iranian manufactured rocket. Iran is the only country in the world that has this rocket, and has passed it to Hamas and to the Islamic Jihad in Gaza. This rocket can reach a range of 75 kilometers, which means the city of Tel Aviv, the area of Jerusalem, and other areas in the country, putting once again more than 3 million Israelis under this danger. Later on, we found a lot more targets. Actually, we targeted over 1,350 targets in Gaza. Many of them were launchers, but it's not a launcher that you put on the back of a truck and you fire a missile from. We are talking about sophisticated launchers that are underground, that are automatically opening from the ground. You cannot even see them. The launchers were loaded with rockets, and there are thousands and thousands of rockets inside the Gaza Strip. We continued with different kind of terror operatives, or militants as we call them, that were about to launch rockets or about to execute some kind of terror activities. Time and time again, we face the urban warfare issue. And we in the IDF, sometimes the world doesn't notice it, but we in the IDF put great efforts to try and minimize casualties. And we did this in a couple of ways. First of all, we dropped leaflets telling the population, the local population, where to go. We warned them of getting too close to Hamas sites and launching areas. Then we took over the Hamas radio and played messages there in case they didn't see the leaflets. We also developed a system called Knock on the Roof. Knock on the Roof enables us to signal to a terrorist inside the house that we know he's there and we're asking him to go out. It's a little bomb that doesn't have explosives but does make a noise when it's touching the building. Overall, I can tell you that we have a remarkable success rates of minimum of casualties, really. According to the numbers I have, approximately 90 casualties, the majority of them were terrorists. Only a very small percentage, although tragic, were civilian casualties. The Iron Dome batteries are deployed all around the country. Currently, there are 5 Iron Dome batteries deployed, and they have intercepted over 300 rockets. This means, ladies and gentlemen, that only 3.5% of the total number of rockets landed in urban areas inside Israel. And the number of rockets that were fired towards Israel since the beginning of this operation stands at about 800 rockets. So do the math, divide this by 6 days, and you understand how many rockets were fired a day. Currently, we see that Hamas is under great pressure, and we see this in two signs. The first thing is that the Hamas leaders have gone into hiding. Yeah, you're probably thinking what I want to tell you. They're hiding in mosques, they're hiding in hospitals, they're hiding in schools, all the civilian places that endanger the population in the area. In addition, Hamas has started spreading many falsehoods regarding the situation. Among these falsehoods, Hamas claimed that when he targeted Tel Aviv, 3 people were killed. Of course, this did not happen. Hamas also claimed he targeted the Israeli parliament, and this also did not happen. As he claimed that he targeted the stock exchange in Tel Aviv or kidnapped soldiers. These are things that indicate the great pressure that Hamas is currently under. As for the ground operation, I'm sure you're eager to know. We have recruited approximately 30,000 reservists. They're currently in the outskirts of the Gaza Strip. Some of them are in training bases. There is no decision for ground operation at this point. However, should we need to go inside Gaza, we as a military are ready. And finally, I'd like to say that as a military, we are determined to defend this country, to protect 3.5 million Israelis. The morale is high. We feel that the support that we're getting from the people of the country is very strong. I would like to thank you for your support as well. It's very meaningful. And on behalf of the IDF, I would like to really send a message, a personal message from me to you, saying thank you for all your warmth and kindness and support. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those warm words of confidence. I now would like to turn the rest of the program over to our family who are here, who live in the heart of the trauma and the troubles, whose children have never known a day without Qassam missiles falling on them, and whose lives have been disrupted now, who can no longer live on their kibbutz while this is happening. So I would like to ask Orit, the mother and wife, to address us.
Hello, my name is Orit. I was born in a beautiful kibbutz named Kfar Aza. I grew up there, and I live there now with my husband and my 4 children. And for the last 12 years, it was impossible for us to live their normal life. 2 weeks ago, I woke up in the middle of the night with the siren, and I found myself thinking, which child should I take first to the safety room? And this is a situation that I wish no mother should be in. 2 months ago, it was the first day of school. Everybody were wearing white shirts. We all were very, very excited. First day, it was a new school, first day. We drove them by the car. And the minute we got to the school at 8 o'clock in the morning, again, there was a siren. There was a attack of rockets. And it was all the excitement, everything was gone. And then it was all, again, a fear, frightening. Kids were screaming. And it was very, very bad situation. And we found it very, very hard.
Hello, my name is Omer. Our kibbutz is 1.5 kilometers from the fence of Gaza. It means that when there is a siren that says Tzeva Adom, color red, we don't have the time to hear all of it. It happens 1 second after it starts, so we have to run away to our mobile bomb shelters. And actually, until I came here today, I was feeling very lonely with what's happening. And when I'm getting into these bomb shelters, and today I know who is supporting us and from where we get these bomb shelters, and I want to thank you very much for it. It's helping us, and it's helping our children to go somewhere when it happens, and I hope it will stop, because everything that happens doesn't have to show blood. It will kill them inside. So I hope it will stop, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Orit and Omer. And I thank all of you in Toronto, in the rest of Canada, those sitting with us, and the entire nation of Israel. May all our prayers and thoughts in our hearts and our minds be answered. And by the time that we return to Toronto, may there be peace.